Now, you really, when you hear this, you're going to say, there's no way that's true. It's not true. But at the same time, since you're already subscribed to me, you're already awake to a lot of these things, you're going to say, well, we saw that one coming. So yeah, part of you wants to say that's unbelievable, there's no way. The other part says, well, yeah, there is a way. MF Global, CEO, don't know where the money is. And you know what? I'd like to be more helpful here at this little hearing, but I'm no longer with the company MF Global. I resigned. I can't even access my own emails to see what was said to me, what I said back when you need to pull those records. Gosh, I wish I could be more help, but I can't. But I did want to show up today out of respect, because I was a former governor and a former senator, New Jersey, and I know what it's like to have people that don't want to show up here and just remain silent. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk. Oh, but that's all I have to say. So you might as well have not showed up today. Yeah. Don't know where the money is. End of discussion. Oh. Okay, well, how about the CME group? The CME group, you know, the one that raises margins whenever they feel like it, crash silver down, raise them back up, raise them, put them down, do what they want, control the market. Well, no, we're not controlling the market. We're regulating the market to make sure everyone's got the funding necessary for these contracts. But you know, if you raise margin requirements on any commodity, it's going to sell off. Well, no comment on that. So, as Gerald Celente has shown the video multiple times of the CME Group's head guy, which his name is Mr. Durkin, he said, you know, we've never lost one penny of money on the exchange that the CME Group regulates. We have $100 billion to back up any such claims anyways. We've never had to touch it. Everything's good. Until now. CME CEO Mr. Durkin announces CME Group will not guarantee missing MF Global client funds. This afternoon, which was yesterday, J.B. Sleer told SD readers, which is Silver Doctor readers, he believed the CME Group and the SIPC are currently fighting over who gets to foot the bill for the MF Global clients' missing funds. Now again, if it's 1.2 billion and there's still a good portion of that in some, they have some of the money themselves, the CME Group does, a little bit. Collateral, if you will. There's a little bit of that money, the 1.2 or whatever is turning out to be now 2.2 whatever billion. At one point I heard it was 3 billion, missing funds, whatever. Some of it will be recovered, about 2/3 possibly, but the other 1/3 is just gone. You're not going to have it. So let's say that amounts to $500 million. Let's just throw a number out there. And the CME Group has $100 billion, as they said, on standby to put out any fires that ever come out. Anyone loses money on our exchange, we got it covered. So if it was $1 billion, not $500 million, that was missing, and they had to come out and make these customers whole again, 1 billion out of 100 billion would be 1%. So this is half of 1% in my little analogy here. I'm just throwing $500 million out that will ultimately not be accounted for, and people are going to be pissed off that they lost it. So I don't know that that number is the exact right number, so just bear with me. But $500 million, that's half of 1% of this rainy day fee that they've been collecting, whatever, however they got the $100 billion. Yeah, we're not going to cover that. So let me continue reading this. So it looks like the CME Group has made it clear that they aren't planning on paying a dime, fiat currency or otherwise. I wonder how the farmers at the National Grain and Feed Association conference took that speech today. CME CEO Brian Durkin better hope that those ranchers didn't bring their 223s after telling them that refunding their own money would be, quote, unwise, and that the, quote, CME bears a greater responsibility to its shareholders, end quote, according to Mr. CEO. CME Group Chief Operating Officer, CEO, Brian Durkin said on Monday the exchange will not guarantee the funds that remain missing from customer accounts at bankrupt brokerage MF Global after they are reimbursed by the bankruptcy trustee. Let me read that again. He said on Monday that the exchange, the CME, will not guarantee the funds that still remain missing from the customer accounts at bankrupt brokerage MF Global after they have been reimbursed by the bankruptcy trustee. So I'm assuming, and he says, such a move would be, quote, unwise, and the CME has a fiduciary responsibility to its shareholders, he said at the National Grain and Feed Association conference on Monday. We have shareholders. We can't have negative numbers for our shareholders, because if you see who our shareholders are, most of them are members of the club. You know, the club. And you farmers, you metals traders, any commodities guys, you peasants, you're not a member of the club. You're not a member of the boys. You're not one of the boys. Our responsibility lies with our shareholders. Imagine in Gerald Celente's position. Well, we've recovered 2/3. The bankruptcy trustee has recovered 2/3 of the missing funds, right? Just throw a number out there, because I think that's roughly what they're trying to get at in the rest of the article. It's somewhere around 2/3 that will come back, but the other 1/3 is just gone. Something like that. 2/3 comes back. CME Group, you only need to come up with 1/3 then to make us whole. You said you had $100 billion to put any fires out. Here's a fire. They only got 2/3 back. We need the full amount, so you need to come up with a 1/3 of that full amount. But we'd like to, CME Group, we'd like to do that 1/3. Not a lot of money, is it? Not when we have $100 billion allegedly on our books to put out these fires, you know, of course. So it's not a good idea. We've got a bigger thing to deal with that's more important than returning your piddly little peasantry money back, and that's our shareholders. So let's just take a look at MF Global now. MF Global, from the time we heard there was an issue, funds missing, something happened to MF Global, within a day or two later, a couple days or so, MF Global filed bankruptcy, boom, 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 retiring, done, 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 done. Now, you recall when that bastard, Mr. Corzine, took the stand, again, in front of Congress, didn't even have to show up, but he did, you know, as out of respect. I believe C-SPAN was covering it. And the feed's cutting out, ladies and gentlemen. Please go to the internet if you wish to continue watching C-SPAN. Well, hell yeah, we want to see what this bastard has to say. So everyone went to the internet as instructed. Feed didn't play. Let's see, and then when he was done talking, the feed came back. Both TV and internet. Interesting. I'm trying to think, has that ever happened before? You know what? It has. It was a whistleblower testimony given by Andrew Maguire that JP Morgan was manipulating the price of silver down whenever they felt like it, and he called in the CFTC Enforcement Division to let them know precisely 2 times specifically they would do it, and they did it, so they had to open an investigation. So there was this big hearing, again covered live, and the fellows from GATA, Gold Antitrust Association, whatever, good guys, were there to give this written out loud. They wrote it down, of course, and he had to read it out loud in a certain amount of minutes, very short amount of time, of course. You know, we want you to give us your case, but you have to give it to us in like 2 seconds. Can you do that? Well, yeah, I'll try. So he rapidly read it fast and was able to read the whole thing. But you know something? there's a little point of this particular event happening, just such a thing occurred again. And the feed cut out again when this testimony was given. And as soon as the testimony was over, the feed came back. That's twice now. You want to know something else that happened around, it was before that took place, the CME, or the CFTC hearing thing. It may have been 2009. I'm pretty sure it was 2009 and not 2010, but it could have been 2010 early on. One or the other. And I noticed after this guy made his allegations about the CFTC and JP Morgan, basically, his allegations weren't necessarily against the CFTC. He already knew that they're basically in bed together with the boys, the club, you know, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, the rest of them. So he basically told this enforcement guy at the CFTC, by the way, I've been recording our conversations every time I call you. And I know I didn't tell you that up front, but I did so on purpose, so that if you don't act and don't do something about this, I will then release our conversations to the world so that they can all hear you telling me, yes, I saw it happen live, yes, I witnessed exactly what you say happened, and then you didn't do anything about it. So in respect to you, because I know you're going to do something about it, I'm not going to play live or anywhere else our conversations until I see what the CFTC does about this. So naturally, the CFTC started their investigation, and as of recently, a few weeks ago, I reported it too, little blurb, the CFTC is continuing to do its investigation into the manipulation of commodities such as silver, whatever, but it didn't say anything. What did you find? Who did it? We already know who did it. JP Morgan. And they just threw that out there. We're still investigating. We did uncover some things, but because the investigation is still ongoing, we can't comment yet. Oh, okay. You don't think they're going to comment after the implosion of everything and after gold and silver start to skyrocket anyways? Then they'll comment and say, well, hey, it was JP Morgan after all. Or they may just keep it quiet. We don't want to tell you who it is for fear of market volatility and sell-off. We don't want to mention any names, but we did uncover somebody and we will fine them appropriately. They could just say that, right? What would happen? So, just wanted to throw that out there, give you a little broader picture. So during this time frame, I noticed a little news story in one of JP Morgan's, I think it was Texas offices that they had over there. Small office fire noted for JP Morgan. Really, it was under control, just a little fire, a few things got burned, no big deal. The building didn't burn down. Small office fire. Right around the same time, investigations taking place from the CFTC. So I think this was last year, to tell you the truth, not 2009. So you wouldn't believe another office fire happened somewhere else, would you? And it wasn't JP Morgan. Now, I'm gonna give you a little hint. You have an investigator investigating somebody, and that somebody had a little office fire. You don't suppose the things that the person investigating was looking for at that office happened to catch fire and are now gone, do you? Paperwork, emails, faxes, the whole 9 yards. You don't think that like, you know, got burned down. They didn't say what it was. Just noted office fire, JP Morgan. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later at best. Might not even been that long. I don't remember. It's been so long ago. And I'm pretty sure I actually did a video on this. If you want to look at my archives, probably early 2010, possibly, somewhere around there. CFTC, small office fire, CFTC building in such and such. I forgot which area, which state in particular, if they had a little remote office or if it was the main office, I don't remember. CFTC, small office fire. JP Morgan, the one the CFTC is investigating, small office fire. I'm telling you now, I've got a feeling that this will be brought up in a future date when this whole thing comes unglued. Regulator has to finally come out, and that's assuming that they'll come out and actually name JP Morgan. They did it. JP Morgan's done. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. What did you find? Well, we started uncovering some things. We definitely knew it was them, but the fine details we can't tell you because there was an office fire at JP Morgan's office, as well as we had other evidence. We had it in such and such building at the CFTC, and both places had a small accidental office fire. Got a feeling. Just look at the Trade Center towers. They went down and they uncovered, or they covered, some massive financial information that was critical in some investigations that were still ongoing at the time. Enron, WorldCom, maybe even been some stuff from the savings and loan scandal of the 80s was still being investigated, I think. Tyco, maybe another scam. Man, there was a few things. And of course, all the gold in the bottom of the World Trade Towers, that got destroyed in the, the rubble. No, it got removed before the towers went down. You can be rest assured. So, back on to MF Global for a second. Did that guy look, he gave his testimony in front of Congress. It is with the greatest regret. I'm so sorry that this took place. But, I can't help you because I don't know where the money went. Did he really look like he was upset? I just had to let go of all my employees, basically. They're gone. Company's gone. All these money accounts is gone. You'd be pretty eaten up inside about that if that was you or me, wouldn't you? I mean, you might even see me crying right now if that was my company on what just took place. If it was a legitimate, oops, we lost it. Just one of those things, and I'm terribly sorry. But he didn't look like he was too upset, did he? He almost looked like he was playing a role. He filed for bankruptcy so fast for the company and then immediately stepped down so fast, it was just completely planned and staged. It had to be. I mean, clearly. So let me give you an example. My boss, the guy that I work for, the CEO, same position as John Corzine, the CEO of my company, which is kind of like a dad to me, believe it or not. Even though I have a dad and my dad's fine. I mean, my dad's relationship's fine. He's just that nice of a guy, cool, whatever you want to call it. He's kind of like a second dad to me in a sense. Really good guy. Where I work, I'm the IT guy. We have a sales department. We have a finance department. We have a service department. We have a support for our customers department. And then we have a couple management, different offices for management, vice president, etc. If my boss, the CEO, was looking at the books and just something happened, a bunch of our customers that owed us money, we counted on coming in, they went bankrupt, they closed out, something happened, and we didn't get the funding in. We would therefore go bankrupt too. We would have a problem unless we had this massive stash of cash sitting on standby for a rainy day, which pretty much doesn't happen anywhere unless you're one of the too big to fails. Basically, this is just a sample story of any business. I'm using my own where I work. We would have to go bankrupt too. Sorry guys, all you contractors nationwide that you subcontract, we can't pay you your paycheck either. Sorry about that. Such and such company, the company I work for, we're closing shop, is with the bosses, everyone else's deepest regrets that most of us, all of us, whatever, are about to get fired and let go. All of you subcontractors, again, you get nothing. Any of you customers out there that we were servicing, good luck calling in. You're gonna get this number no longer exists. Have a nice day. My boss would probably be in tears, devastated. Why did I even say probably? I already know him. He would be devastated, terrible, very upset. I guarantee he would probably, now that's when I say probably, he would probably cry. I don't know what it takes to make a certain man cry, so I'm not going to say for sure. But I know him, and I know he would be greatly, greatly upset by that, and so sad. I mean, I couldn't even tell you. But old John Corzine, MF Global, he just played it like a script. Boom, next day, up, you caught us, red-handed, boom, bankruptcy. Boom, I quit. Boom, I'm in front of Congress. You're not getting your money back. Go see the CME group or somebody else. Which he didn't even say that. Everyone else just said, well, we have to go to the regulator. They said that they guarantee. There's a video of the guy standing there with all of his pals at the CME group. We guarantee this. There's never been a penny loss on our exchange ever. We've got $100 billion to backstop anything like that. And we've never had it happen. We are proud to say that. How about 1/3 of 1.2 or 2.2 whatever billion dollars that it ends up being? 600, 700 million, 500 million, whatever ends up coming back from the bankruptcy trustee. The remainder needs to be paid. Then what? Basically everyone, including Zero Salente, is going to get a 1/3 haircut and get 2/3 of their money back, potentially. And then they could go start suing people if they would like, which I would love to see people start to sue the CME group and that kind of thing. Now the other thing I want to cover is that since all these commodities are traded at the CME group, at the CME, and everyone just witnessed, as of yesterday, the CME saying we're not going to cover these losses, and the company itself, MF Global, out of nowhere blows up and is destroyed, and everyone else is saying, hey, I play commodities, hey, I play futures, hey, I'm a farmer and I've been doing this not to make money, but just to hedge against inflation and other things. I get my farmers will actually go out and get contracts themselves, which is why he was in that thing I read you. He was mentioning the farmers specifically because that's where this was that's what they were talking about, and I guess that's where he gave a speech or something, or maybe he wasn't there and gave the speech. I don't know. I don't know, but the bottom line is, you're going to start to see, we can't trust that exchange. I'm not putting my money in that thing. I'm not playing a futures contract. I'm not playing commodities. I'm not playing that game. Slowly but surely, and maybe a lot, maybe not slowly, maybe fairly rapidly, now everyone's going to start pulling out of the market. And could you imagine, hey, stock market starts diving. Oh, commodities are diving. Silver, gold's getting destroyed. Oil's getting destroyed temporarily. All that temporarily. Why? Well, what's going on? Is it the economy? Is it Europe? No, it's a combination of Europe, but mostly because of what happened to the CME group and MF Global. CME won't backstop any of their losses. No one trusts the market in America no more. Everyone's pulling out. Prices are just getting destroyed. So you and I are going to use that as an opportunity, right? Shake your head, yes, to buy tons and tons and tons more silver. At the same time, since silver is a commodity still, and most people, let's say, start backing away from the market. Let's say 2/3 of the people who participate in the market, commodities market, 2/3 decide we're out. We're not playing. My money is not safe anywhere. Forget that. I'm pulling my money out right now. That leaves, I'm just making this number up, 1/3 left to play the commodities markets. So in other words, the club, the boys, the elite, are the only ones left in the game. Now they get to set the price without worrying about anyone getting involved and demanding delivery of gold and silver. Therefore, how is there ever really going to be a silver shortage at the COMEX? And why would the COMEX ever blow up and stop trades or do something in the commodities market if there's no one really playing it anymore, and they can just sit back and dictate the price of everything by themselves without anyone getting involved? Because if you and I try to get involved, and lots of people decide, hey, these prices aren't right, we're going to start pulling out contracts and demanding delivery so that we can pull the real thing out from under you, you'll have an MF Global to deal with. Your money's gone. Sue us if you want it back. We'll settle out of court if you want, but you're going to get pennies on the dollar back, right? And it will tie it up for years in court. So they'll continue to have that control. But if you start to see, that can affect corn and wheat and oil and all these commodities, which no one really demands delivery of. They don't really demand delivery of those items. I've told you this before. Gold and silver are some heavy-duty things people demand delivery for. So if people decide we're not playing the commodities game anymore, but I will go and buy some physical gold and silver, and then all of a sudden such and such mint, not necessarily the US mint, but it could be the US mint, could be Sunshine Mint, could be some other mint, we're running out of silver, we can't, the producers can't get it to us fast enough. Well, how is that possible? The price of silver, let's say, it's $15 today, according to the COMEX, because no one's playing anymore and no one's playing the game, then the prices keep going down, right? So silver's, let's say, $15 an ounce, gold's back down to $1,200. How is that possible when the mints can't get gold and silver to mint? Well, we don't know. What would happen? The real true market automatically, which is the physical market, would kick in, and the mining companies would say, we're not selling you silver at $15 and we're not selling you gold at, you know, $1,200. We can't keep up with the demand. There's no way we're going to accept $15 silver and $1,200 gold. If you guys want it, you mints, all you mints that are telling us we can't keep up with with the demand that you have, go to the CME group, go to the commodities exchange and get an order out. Could you imagine the U.S. Mint buys a contract on the COMEX, you know, the CME group, and gets MF globaled by some other company and loses the money? Now, first of all, I don't think that would happen, because the U.S. Mint, who already has, you know, the boys guaranteed to be working there at some level of higher level management, wouldn't dare, under any circumstances, go out on the marketplace, the CME group, the COMEX, whatever, and buy a contract to get silver or gold so they can mint coins. It ain't gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So it's simply a matter of physical. Just keep buying physical. The mining situation will eventually kick in gear some way or another, unless the COMEX just gets destroyed somehow, and they just, for whatever reason, they don't want to take the chance of losing all these customers. We got to build faith up, guys. We got to build the faith. If we lose faith in the COMEX and the CME group, we lose money as bankers, because there's not transactions taking place, and bankers love to get those little fees on these transactions. Buy a contract, sell a contract, there's a fee. Buy a contract, sell a contract, there's another fee. And if you had a massive amount of people leave the exchanges, the bankers don't make a lot of money. So my example was that a bunch of people would leave, and that could be what happens anyways, because people don't trust it. They always have to have faith in the system. So we might find that not necessarily the CME group, but some other entity within that chain of whatever, from the trader, peasant, down to the exchange, will step in and, okay, we'll cover the loss. Gotta build confidence. So anyways, that's all I got for you. I gotta go.